Hello everyone, it is John, and today, well, you can tell I'm looking at Shogun from Milton Bradley, and it's another game that's sat on my shelf for quite some time. I used to play it with a friend of mine who moved to Melbourne back, I think, just after my first child, or just before, maybe just after, I think my first child was born. So that's, yeah, a long time ago, which is very sad. And the Shogun game is, there was, in that particular format, I think there was Fortress America, there was the Axis and Allies. I think there were a few others. I can't remember what they were, but they're highly, well, in my opinion, I find them highly desirable, and I'm happy to have this version of Shogun because it reflects me and my age. Look, we'll now go on and have a look at the board. I'm not going to attempt to tell you how to play the game because I've forgotten all about it, and I'm dreadful at wanting to sit down and read the rules. I think many people will probably find it's far easier to say, oh, look, okay, he's actually set the board up. I can see all the pieces. I'll go and listen to somebody who really knows what they're talking about as to how this game plays. I'm really here just showing you my collection, and look, isn't it wonderful after all these years? It's still in fairly good nick, apart from the fact I can't find where the 6 12-sided dice have disappeared to. I think they may be sitting in another box, but I do mention that later on in the other one. So anyway, look, here we go, on to part 2. Shogun. Yes, a lovely game, and I have attempted to, from the back of the box, attempt to copy it. I don't know. I think I've copied it as closely as I can, but look, this is from somewhere in the 1980s. I can't remember when it was. Does it have that in here? I'm just having a look. Does it have a date? 1986. This version from Milton Bradley is. And as you can see, the only thing that I am missing from this are my 12-sided dice, which I think may have been used for another game, because I had a tendency to pinch dice in those days. I couldn't afford, I think, dice. But look, this is a good game, in my opinion. It's a area control, I believe that's what I call it. The rule book is a whole, 31 pages. They nicely give you illustrated examples. I'm doing it this way, but go backwards to forwards. So they got rules for a 2-player game. Obviously it's meant to be, it's better played with more. I know they say 2 to 5, but I really think this game does. I think I've played it 4-player, may have played it 5, but it is, I think, considering that this game sat out in the shed and was literally sitting in a pile of cockroach droppings, yet the box is pretty good, and the game itself I'm really happy with. So, it gives good examples. Look, I'm not going to try and remember how the game plays. I'd have to sit down and have a really, really good game. Let me know what you think, because I also looked at this game purely for the fact that I could use it for the miniatures. I was going to use the miniatures, I think, for hordes of things, or something like that. What did I find? So the book, I must admit, is on fairly decent grade thick paper, or thickish paper anyway, certainly not thin. I'd almost say papyrus feeling paper, but it is, in my opinion, it's lasted well, considering I had to go find a download, I think, at one stage all those years ago. So the starting provinces were, and this is what I loved too, was the fact that at least if you tried to find the province, it was nicely marked out and coloured on the card, and that made it so much easier. The other thing that was nice was they actually did give you, I think there's 3 or 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, I thought there were 4 spare cards, just in the event, for whatever reason you may lose one. I think that's really, really good for the time. That's not something that's normally, I guess, thought of. But look, honestly, setting this up, the number of times I'd lean over the table and knock the pieces over and lose everything. So this is the other side, and that's where you have all your, once again, the planning guides there, the action sequence, and then the combat sequence. So it tells you, well, there you go. So the combat sequence is nice and simple. So die roll or less needed to hit. So your bowmen, your gunners, your daimos or daimyos, and then your swordsman and ronin, and then your spearmen. Then you remove casualties. It's really, I think, nice. And the fact that on your little castle you've got the slots to pay for whatever it is that you're going to do. So take swords or build, levy units, hire ronin or hire the ninja. And I was quite pleased. I was a bit worried. I thought at one stage I may have actually lost my ninja, but hang on, let's see if I can get him. But the ninja is still there. Out of that, I was really pleased. So look, this is my copy of Shogun. I know that it's had a couple of other iterations. It's had a name change. I think this version of Shogun, I think this might have been due to the popularity of I can't remember who the author was who did had a book out by the same name. Can't remember who was in it. One of the Bond actors, I think, was in it. I can't remember. My wife would know. She's the one who remembers everything. But look, there you go. This is Shogun, and imitation is the best form of flattery, they say. Anyway, look, thank you for watching. As I said, if you've played it, leave your thoughts. So till next time, signing off, the Honourable John.